All right, let's talk about something that so many of us feel even when things seem to be going great on the outside. It's that quiet, nagging anxiety about money, right? Well, today we are going to dive into a guide for conquering that exact fear and building some real wealth. And our roadmap, it's David Bach's amazing bestseller, Smart Women Finish Rich. You know, for over 2 decades, this book has been a total game changer, selling millions of copies. But why? Well, it's because this isn't just about spreadsheets and stock markets. It's a really powerful plan for women to grab the reins of their finances, build genuine security, and finally start funding the life they actually want to live. Let's just start with a pretty shocking reality check. I mean, look at this quote. Almost half of women earning 6 figures are haunted by this fear of becoming bag ladies. That is wild. This isn't just some random number. It's a deep-seated anxiety that really proves that success doesn't automatically equal security. So, how do we mental a fear like that? Well, it all starts by changing how we think. So, our journey kicks off by facing that fear head-on. And the very first step, it's tearing down all those common money myths that hold so many of us back. This slide really lays out 2 of the biggest myths that trip us up. Over on the left, we've got that classic idea, if I just got a bigger paycheck, I'd be rich. But the truth is, wealth isn't really about what you earn. It's about what you keep and what you grow. And on the right, that kind of fairy tale idea that someone else, a partner, maybe family, is going to handle our financial future for us. But the hard truth that Bach points out is that you and only you are in the driver's seat of your financial destiny. So here it is, the big takeaway. It really doesn't matter if you make $25,000 a year or $250,000. If you spend every penny you make, you're always going to end up at zero. Real financial control, it begins the second you start managing your spending, not just chasing a higher income. That is the true foundation of wealth. Okay, so once we've cleared out those fears and busted those myths, we get to the really exciting part. This is where we stop chasing numbers on a page and start making our money actually work for the life we genuinely want. David Bach has a name for this. He calls it values-based financial planning. And it's a huge shift in thinking. The idea is simple, but wow, it's profound. Money isn't the end goal. Money is just the tool. The real objective here is it's to build a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you. And your financial plan, well, that's the bridge that gets you there. So, how do you figure all that out? Well, with this incredibly simple but super powerful exercise, the values ladder. You just start by asking, what's important about money to me? Maybe the first thing that comes up is security. Okay, great. Then you ask, well, what's important about security? And maybe the answer is peace of mind. You just keep digging down like that layer by layer until you uncover your deepest motivation. The real why behind your goals.
If you are finding this video helpful, please make sure to hit that like button and share it with someone who this might help and be a benefit to their financial well-being. Your support means a lot to me and helps the channel grow, allowing the YouTube algorithm to show this content to a bigger crowd. More people can benefit from these ideas and hopefully improve their financial well-being.
Okay, so now you know why you're saving. The next question is pretty obvious. Where does the money come from? Well, this next part, the Latte Factor, reveals a simple but kind of shocking truth. You probably already have all the money you need. I mean, just look at this. If you make around $4,000 a month, which is a solid income, but not extravagant, nearly $2 million will pass through your hands over a 40-year career. $2 million. The money is there. The challenge isn't earning it. It's learning how to capture a little piece of it before it all just disappears. And this is where the famous Latte Factor comes into play. The book tells the story about a woman who realized her daily $5 coffee and scone habit wasn't just a small treat. When you actually invest that money over time, that tiny little expense could have grown to over $1.6 million by retirement. It's just this aha moment that reminds us our fortunes are often hiding in those small everyday purchases. So, how do you actually harness this power? It's with 3 simple words. Pay yourself first. This is the absolute golden rule of personal finance. It just means that before you pay rent, before you pay bills, before you pay anyone else, you treat your future self as your most important bill. And if you automate it, so a piece of your income goes straight to savings and investments, you'll build wealth without even having to think about it. Okay, so you're ready to start paying yourself first. Awesome. But where should that money actually go? Just throwing it all into one big savings account isn't really the best strategy. And this is where the book gives us this beautifully simple framework for organizing our entire financial life. It's called the three-basket approach. And instead of just one giant pile of savings, you divide your money with purpose. This makes sure you're ready for whatever life throws at you while you're also actively building the future you really want. And here's how it breaks down. First, you've got your security basket. This is for all of life's curveballs. Right. Think insurance, having a well, and of course, that all-important emergency cash fund. Then there's the retirement basket. Think of this as your long-term wealth engine, automatically getting fed through things like a 401k. And then my favorite part, the dream basket. This is where your values come to life. This is for the travel, the new business, whatever goals make you genuinely excited about the future. So, we've busted the myths. We've found our values. We've located the hidden money, and we've organized it all into baskets. Now, let's bring it all home with the first steps you can take, like starting today. Here it is, your action plan. Step 1. Do that values letter exercise to find your why. Then track your spending for just a week to find your personal latte factor. Commit to paying yourself first and automate everything into those three baskets. And finally, take that super important step of creating your will. This is literally your toolkit for financial freedom. So, we're going to end with this question because a truly rich life goes so far beyond your bank balance. It's about having the freedom, the security, and the ability to make choices that are authentically yours. The journey starts the moment you decide to begin. So, what does that rich life look like for you?
Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching. I'm Finance Puppy, and here's to a better financial tomorrow. Cheers!